right. So, what are your thoughts on school grooming policies in Jamaican schools? So, Jonathan Grant High School barred student barred from compound for inappropriate hairstyle. Inappropriate hairstyle. Okay. Let's look at it, guys. So there are questions being raised regarding the dress and grooming policies at the St. Catherine-based Jonathan High School, right? So this after an 11th grade student was barred from entering the compound yesterday due to what is being classified as an inappropriate hairstyle. The students who were calling Shane was slated to do his Math CXC mock exam, but he didn't get a chance to sit the exam. It's the latest in the string of an ongoing clash among students, parents, school administrators over grooming. So Shane's grandmother explains what happened when she went to school. She challenges the claim that her grandson's hair is faded. She says if the school had allowed him to do his exam, like she suggested, then she would have taken him to the barber after. Because I mean, him doing the exam, not including brain for the exam. Think about it. Shane's grandmother says that this is not the first time her grandson is being barred from the school. Her major concern is that he won't be given another opportunity to sit the mock exam. So they have barred him from sitting his mock exam. The grandmother was saying to them, let him just do the exam, and after the exam, we can deal with this matter because it's an exam. It's an entire exam that you're going to let him not do because his hairstyle was, in your opinion, or based on your guidelines, it was inappropriate. Cool. So our new center contacted the school's office, but was told the principal was in a meeting. It's the latest in the string of complaints from parents about dress and grooming rules in schools. The government has signaled that a national grooming policy will be implemented to address public concerns about the dress code in schools. The minister has repeatedly urged schools not to lock out students for alleged grooming breaches again. Because we know separately from barring you from the exam, there have been times if you come to school or if you go to school, students go to schools, they are not permitted on the campus like at all. Separate from if they have exams or not, just like a regular school day, if they don't think they're wearing the right uniform, if it's too tight, if it's too short, anything, they can just say, okay, well, we're not letting you on the campus. That's something we've known to happen over the years. Chief Education Officer Dr. Kassan Troop says several consultations are being held with principal, parents, students, and members of the uniformed groups. Now, let's listen to this together.
Shane's grandmother explains what happened when she went to the school. She's challenging the claim that her grandson's hair is faded.
The security locked him up because she said me had feared. So can I speak to somebody in the office? She said we must go on. Then a vice principal came out and I was trying to explain to her. I said, Miss, he has a maths exam and him sit up 2 o'clock to practice for the maths. She said, no, anything that the security says goes. She said, here want to cut him, cannot come in the school like that because he's not properly grouped. I get really mad. I say, Miss, what you say? You're denying the child of his education for go to maths? I said, okay. Fine. So I went back out and I said to the security, can I speak to the principal? She said, the principal don't want to talk to you. And I left.
She says if the school had allowed him to do his exam like she suggested, then she would have taken him to a barber after.
To be honest, I cried because we still know his mother have to work hard. His mother don't get minimum wage. I pay him subject, everything. I look and I say if it was an unruly child, he wouldn't call me. He would have go home. These are the things why some of these school breed criminal. Some of them, especially the teachers, they don't know how to relate to you, how to talk to you, how to sit down and say, well, Mummy, we're going to give this is a maths, and the government say maths is important and English. They're angry like you're nobody because you don't drive a big car. I don't have anything, but I want them to achieve. I don't want them to become thief and turn scammer.
Shane's grandmother says this is not the first time her grandson is being barred from the school. Her major concern is that he won't be given another opportunity to sit the mock exams.
When you turn out a child, what you're denying the child? You're denying the child of his education. That's why we have so much. You blame the parents. You have some parents try, When you go, suppose you go there. You must go there one day under the skies and sit down and see how much of them lock out. Can't go inside there. So what you're telling the child in his head to do? To take up the gun and to scam. Jamaica is running, stay in such a way that you have to encourage the youth The child said want him 6 subject, and we pay for the 6 subject.
Our news center contacted the school's office but was told the principal was in a meeting. It's the latest in a string of complaints from parents about dress and grooming rules in schools. The government has signaled that a national grooming policy will be developed to address public concerns about the dress code in schools. The ministry has repeatedly urged schools not to lock out students for alleged grooming breaches. Chief Education Officer Dr. Kassan Troop says several consultations are being held with principals, parents, students, and members of the uniformed groups.
There's a meeting set next week to go through all the feedback and to rationalize those, to bring them back to a summarized form to see what will be used. That's where the process is now pulling together. So go through the feedback, see what changes need to be made based on what the recommendations were from the different consultations. This is being led by the Educational Planning and Development Division in the ministry.
Robianne Williams for Nationwide News.
All right, guys, we're gonna open the floor now. Each of you will be given about a minute or 60 seconds, and you'll be timed to just respond. We're asking you to raise your hands and let's hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this type of the way that Jamaica's school have been utilizing grooming is promoting anti-blackness? For example, when you have persons that are of a different hair type from ours, different from 4C, if their hair is grown out and long and just let out, that's fine. But if our Afro girls do it, it's unkept or it's not appropriate, stuff like that. Thinking about it on an overall perspective, do you think these kind of policies are promoting anti-blackness? Please raise your hand. You'll be given 60 seconds to speak. So I'm checking the list now. All right, so Dalvin, go ahead, please.
All right, so my opinion on this is that they are just straight up racist, but it goes, may I go further to say this, right? Yeah, some teachers are straight up just lock power in their own life, and this is a way of it. Them get that power by straight up bullying others, right? From my personal experience from high school, hair, pants, all of that stuff, is that them look out for certain students where them straight up hate. And like anybody who know me know is like, me had a student do it. Me I gotta tell them my mind straight up, and me I gotta do it in such a way elegantly so it hard for really find a way to knock me down. So this is just a teacher's way of monopolize certain things. That are my 2 cents.
Thank you very much. The next person, Williams, go ahead.
Okay, good night, everyone. Yes, I do believe that this school is painting that image. I had a first-hand experience of this. I went to Malta, Alvernia, and during some time of the day, this girl, she's mixed. Her mother is white and her father is black, so she has curly hair, and she let her hair go, like she just let it go, and then it was fine throughout the school. And this time she chose to shiny bump her hair. I don't know if I remember the little style there, but she did it. And I'm not gonna call the teacher's name, but my PE teacher asked her why she did that with her nice hair. And she felt offended because she was like, doesn't matter the texture of my hair, I'm supposed to can wear any hairstyle other people wear and not be say, oh, I have pretty hair, I should flaunt it this way or that way. And the next thing is that this whole training back student thing, because of their hair or school grooming thing, I was doing CXE and the government sent out a notice say the students here, they target the hair, should not stop them from sitting their CXE subject. So I don't know what is wrong with these teachers lately. That's my input.
All right, thank you very much. With I see Spencer's hand is up. Go ahead, Spencer.
So my 2 cents is the hair stopping these kids from learning? How is it affecting them? In society, they can wear their hair anyhow. Going into the workplace, you can wear your hair the way you choose. So what is the school grooming them into? How does it affect them learning? How does it affect the teachers teaching? That is my 2 cents, honestly.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else want to give their 2 cents on what they think about this? Is it promoting anti-blackness? Go ahead. Sure. Go ahead. See your hand raised. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm new here. And I want to add on that, being a person who is mixed, I always get classed as, oh yeah, pretty hair, whatever, but there's no such thing as pretty hair. Jamaicans just classify that because of the texture of the curls or how it looks, right? Anyways, so I was at school one day and decided to wear my hair out in an afro. And they told me that it wasn't groomed and they looked good and I should catch it up. So yeah, they're very anti-black, because if I was supposed to curl it and let it go, it would be acceptable. But because it was in an afro, they're like, no, it looks too unkept. That's what she said.
Wow, sorry I had to experience that, but thank you so much for sharing. Um, all right, anyone else wants to share, just raise your hand. I'm gonna take this as my turn to just say what I think. I agree with the grandma when she said that they could have just waited until he did the exam. I agree with that because school's for learning, right? Yes, you want to be dressed appropriately, but it wasn't like he was showing any private parts for you to say, oh no, no, that can't wait. You have to go. No. If this was just his hair and it was only about his hair, you let him do his exam. You let him know that, hey, your hair is not acceptable at this going forward, and maybe for going forward won't be so lenient, but you don't just at the initial stage say, hey, no, get out, don't come on campus. To me, that's a bit harsh, especially considering it wasn't just a typical day at school. He had mock exam, right? Additionally, I've seen cases on social media, which perhaps some of you have also seen, where perhaps a young man's pants, they'll say too tight, now let's say in. And even if they want to argue, yes, it is too tight, I feel like if it is the first instant, warn them, let them come to school, warn them, give them a write-up, call their parents, something like that. If you want to give them a second warning, etc. But I don't feel like your immediate response should be to bar them from school. Maybe you want to give them detention. I just feel like barring them from entering the campus or the compound is not okay, because to me, you're saying, okay, I showed up to school. I already kind of don't want to be here because I'm young. I'd rather be home playing games or chilling with my friends. You're saying I can't come on campus because I'm not dressed the way you want me to dress. You don't think it's appropriate. Yeah, now let me in. Cool. May have my whole lunch money upon me. May I got straight. I'm gonna go and do whatever. I can get myself into so much trouble without even intending to get myself in so much trouble. When the parents send their children to school, they're expecting their children to be at school. Now, when the school is saying they're barring them from even entering the campus, like, what? How is that acceptable? Like, I can understand if you want to punish them, but that barring them off the premises, to me, is a bit extreme. If you want to give them detention, if you want to escalate detention to suspension, like after warning them several times, fine. But I just don't see how it's appropriate to bar them officially or entirely from being on the campus for something over like their attire. If it's not a case where their private parts are out, which I can understand, in a case like that would be different. Just you don't like how tight their pants is. You don't like how short her dress is. You don't like the hairstyle. Fine, write them up, report it, document it. So if you decide to say you're going to expel them based on numerous what did I say, breaking of laws or breaking of school rules, you have the proof, the written documentation to do so. Yeah. Promoting anti-blackness, we see a lot of stereotype or stereotypical. I'm going to share a personal experience. It's probably not as drastic, but it was kind of shocking. I went to school and we have to wear tunics. If you go to school in a tunic in a press, it's problem. They probably won't even let
Sorry,
you.
love. Sorry to interrupt you, but before you go on to that, could I just go before you go to the anti-black part and your personal experience, please?
You're apologizing for interrupting me to interrupt me.
Yes,
Go ahead.
because just before you go to that part, I just wanted to add something because I realize it's going far when I don't want to lose it. Sorry.
All right, go ahead.
All right, good night, everyone. I'm Janelle Nicholson. I'm new. All right, so I am listening and I do get what everybody is saying, but I'm looking at it from a school perspective, right? So upon going to even prep schools, so small, before high school or high schools, we would have all gotten the manual or the handbook and we would have agreed to certain things. Now I get it that your attire doesn't determine whether or not you learn. However, this is training grounds, right? If we think on even government offices, it is recently that they're allowing people to dress a certain way and still get to go in. So
when I listened to what the grandmother said, and she even mentioned that it's not the first time they locked him out. Like, I get the anti-blackness part. I'm totally for it because I'm a natural. I'm a 4C person. But in terms of what the school is really trying to portray, what they're trying to keep up, I don't think it's the black that they're against. I think it is the rules, and you need rules in society. So I didn't hear anybody come on that side. So I wasn't sure if it is that we were just looking at the anti-blackness part, or we were just looking at it in general.
I suppose we're looking at how some of the grooming policies are, okay, that was your timer, are anti-blackness. Meaning to say, this is just an example. Somebody with 4C here have a weird afro hairstyle that is inappropriate, that don't look good. Somebody who has, I don't know the hair type, but just straight hair that Caucasian females normally have, yeah, we're not just down, that's perfectly fine. Most of the hair them just released in their natural state. They're just released, perhaps they're brushed or not, right? Sometimes you can use your soul comb for your afro. But in some of the cases with the afro is a problem. Why is when her hair is less loose and loose, it's fine, but because my hair is not straight and laying down, it's an afro. Why is that a problem? I think that's kind of where we were speaking of. Yes, we understand that rules are in place to be followed and guided. But some of the rules we were saying are some of these grooming policies promoting anti-blackness. I'm just gonna finish out the story I was saying earlier, and then I'll give the floor to someone else. I was saying with my school, high school, if we did not press our uniform, we could be locked off campus. And I remember there was this fully Chinese classmate in my class, and her parents did not believe in pressing clothes because I'm thinking that waste of electricity and I'm not money flat. Blatantly said that. Her uniform, you could clearly see that it was never pressed or anything like that. And she was fine. She never got in trouble, anything like that. She's cool. But myself or other persons come to school, and if in a press or in a press properly, it's a problem when you could be turned away. I just felt like right there, why is there a double standard? Which I guess that leads into colorism as well, but that's a different topic. But there is still some segmentation with how certain things are handled in school as it relates to grooming and stuff. So we still have 2 hands raised. So we're gonna go with those 2 hands, and then we're gonna wrap up for the night. So Tashoy and then Ashley, and you'll have 2 minutes on the clock. When you hear me unmuting, you're hearing the beeping, that means your time up. Not 2 minutes, 1 minute. So go ahead, Tashoy.
Okay, good night again. All right, so I do believe it's promoting anti-blackness because, all right, for example, when I was going to school, most of the, let me say white kids, they were able to wear their hair down or not even catch up, but we had to like comb our hair in a particular way. And this is a thing that really pisses me off. Like for the grooming, like the boys with the pants, I used to hate when I see the dean of discipline using the razor and the scissors and whatever to pull out the boys' pants. Like it is irritating. Yes, I understand that it is really bad and it's against the rules. But what happened when you let them out of school with those pants torn? Other children are going to pick on them, say well if disrespectful things. A lot of times I've seen those actually turn out into fights or even more dangerous things. So it, as you mentioned before, I think it would be a lot better, like, warn them several times or even call the parents so that they are able to see what the child is dressing like, because most of the time the parents don't even know what is going on. So yeah, that's basically my 2 cents.
All right, thank you. All right, Ashley, take it away, and your 1 minute is on the clock as well. So go ahead.
It was in terms to a comment you made earlier, Jay. You had said that something about rules are said to the students from before. Some schools at orientation reinforce it and they have a handbook. So when they come to school, it's not like they don't know. It's something that is normally done. They say do not wear sneakers for school shoes. The parents turn up the first morning and say, Miss, then get it from foreign, the person buy it. So it's a known thing. However, in this case, I mean, it's an exam the young man is sitting. They could have easily allowed him to do his exam. And it's math at that.
All right, thank you very much, and thank you everyone for your participation in this segment of the meeting. Uh, Brian, unless you're going to say what you have to say in 30 seconds, so we're wrapping up. So
Ready
shoot your
long
shot.
time. Ready.
Shoot your
So
shot.
sometime in regards to what the person was saying about the parents not knowing what the child is wearing to school, I can attest to that because I remember in grade 9, me feel like me at girl, me a part would be a footballer and thing. Me I wear the long uniform come to school and have on the short one after it. So I come through the gate, I take off the long uniform. So honestly, sometimes the parents really don't know.
All right, thank you for that, Brian. Thank you for that.